Hey, good morning, everybody. Let's take a look this morning. So, just wanted to show you real quick some of the things I initially look at when I wake up to is just the outside markets. What's everything doing as far as oil, gold, stock market? Is that going to have any impact today? One of the things I was talking to a client about yesterday is, here's oil. It's still around $95 a barrel, but I don't know. It just seems like we're really overly concerned with what's going to happen with these prices, and since their initial jump they have done nothing. They're just hanging around these levels, not really causing any chaos at the moment. So I don't know, that'll be interesting to watch. I do think, obviously this is still high. I'm not trying to say it's not a high price, but it's just interesting to me that it's not like, even though the conflict hasn't really changed a whole lot, oil prices have not continued to run like there's some big problem going on. So that'll be interesting to watch. Stock market, gold, all that's pretty quiet today. So not a lot going on there. But just wanted to give you an idea of some of the first things that I look at. We'll jump into May corn now. Really kind of interesting here today because you closed at a new, forgetting this high because it's kind of just out there. That was that Sunday night. This high was 469 and a half. You closed yesterday at 469 and three quarters, but yet you open up and you're lower last night. I don't know that that's a terrible thing, terrible sign. It's just odd. Frankly, you don't see that very often. You got a really solid close there, and then you go ahead and open up lower and didn't even take out the high. I mean, I could see lower if you'd have taken this high out last night, but you didn't even try to do that. So interesting to see what kind of impact that might have technically today if people come in here this morning and decide to start selling this thing just because you literally just kind of ran out of buyers there, even though you closed at a new high. So decent volume here yesterday. So again, that's not something you'd look at and be negative about. And overall, we're still in this really nice uptrend. But today, resistance will be this high from yesterday of 469 and three quarters. Support's going to be the 5-day at 464 and 1/8. A lot of room to maneuver down here. Again, even if you come down to this trend line at some point here over the next few weeks, you're looking at 448 or so, still an uptrend. This does not look great, in my opinion, still showing divergence here, and especially if you have a down day today. I would say that down day would turn into some extension of a downward move here for at least a week and maybe longer. It might turn into what we've talked about for quite a while, which has been delayed for sure by this Iran war, which is a down move into April, May before you start some kind of a rally this summer. I think that's about it on corn today. We'll just see if it can see what it does when we open, if it decides to follow through with that solid close yesterday, or if people just jump on the sell side. And I guess I would have to go with that side today just because of the action last night. Soybeans still definitely weaker. Just finally worked up here last night. Did break out yesterday's high, unlike corn. Sitting at up 0.75% at 11.69 and a quarter this morning. Got up to these moving averages. The 10-day has been this really critical area for a long time, all the way up this up move. We held that, and now it could be a point that it's tougher to get above. And if you do break above it, then that might be a really good signal that we're going to work up to another new level. But right now in the overnight, found that as resistance. So 11.77 is where that 10-day is at. That will be resistance today. We're back below the 5-day, 20-day, all of those. Support, you take out the overnight low of 11.65, and I would say you pretty quickly could run back down here and retest the 50-day, which was our swing low basically from, that would have been Tuesday. So 50-day sitting at 11.46 and 5/8. This just looks weak to me. Looks like we started a downtrend. We've bounced up out of that. We've found resistance, and now, in my opinion, they will probably start to sell this thing again. So resistance, I'll know I'm wrong if we can get above this 11.76. Support, overnight low of 11.65, but then really that low, that swing low from Tuesday of 11.45 and a quarter will be your main point of whether or not we're going to go back down to another level of a low. Nothing crazy down here. Volume's just okay. RSI is middle of the road, which can be a point, like I said yesterday, where you start to reverse this. So we'll know that that's what's happening if we break through resistance there. Nothing special down here on the stochastics either. So we will see the action today, but overall, I would say corn, soybeans look a little bit weaker here today. Even after the strength that we saw yesterday, that was a little bit unexpected. So, all right, everybody have a great day. We'll talk to you soon. Thanks. Bye.